All right, we have some breaking news right here on First Take. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence has officially announced he will be entering the 2021 NFL Draft. He made the announcement in a video today, posted to Twitter, simply tweeting, "Thank you, Clemson," and then the video was him walking around on the field at Memorial Stadium. So coming off of that news, we now welcome in the mouth of the South, Paul Finebaum. Paul, I want to know your reaction to this news that he's entering the draft.
It's the least surprising thing that I've heard in 2021, 2020, and pretty much any other year. He was always going to go. I think it depended on whether he would go to the Jets, if that indeed turned out to be his destination, which is not going to be the case. But he's had a remarkable career, and I quite frankly think he may not ever get enough credit because he did not win the Heisman Trophy. He won one national championship his first year, and last year lost to Joe Burrow, and this year obviously didn't make it to the final game. But he's one of the most remarkable players I have ever seen. I think he will have a sensational pro career, but he brought such, I thought, class to college football, such dignity, and one of those guys that we will remember back many, many years from now when he ascends into greatness in the NFL and go, why didn't he win the Heisman Trophy? And I'm sure Peyton Manning will second that notion.
Paul, when I think about valued quarterbacks out of college, it seems to me Trevor Lawrence comes in with as much hype among the people who seem to know as anyone since Andrew Luck. And while Andrew Luck had an excellent career, I really like Andrew Luck. He's a very good quarterback. It's not like the career performance quite matched the hype, right? He retired early, and he was never the best quarterback in the league, though there were times where he looked like maybe a top 5 kind of guy. What do you expect when you say a sensational career? What do you expect from Trevor Lawrence?
I don't know why I can't get Peyton Manning out of my head, Max, but the reason I say that is, I'd seen him play many, many times on television, but 2 years ago, standing on the sidelines out at Santa Clara, seeing him up close for the first time, I saw that big guy out there, 6'5", 6'6", and he looked like Peyton Manning, just towering over the field, and he was playing Alabama. It wasn't like he was playing Wake Forest, and he shredded them that night. It was one of the most embarrassing losses of Nick Saban's career, and I just have seen him, even though he's been great in college, don't misunderstand the point. To me, he is the prototypical pro quarterback, and if he had, I would like to know what more he'll have around him in Jacksonville, but that's just my gut feeling, and that's all you can do. It's easy to miss on college quarterbacks coming out, but I really do think Trevor Lawrence is as can't miss a quarterback as we have seen in a number of years, perhaps many years.
Paul, the national championship game, Alabama-Ohio State, scheduled still to take place on Monday, despite there being some COVID issues within the Buckeyes program. They do have a backup date in mind. That would be January 18th. But what would it take for them to actually postpone that game?
I don't think it's going to be postponed for this reason. I think there is such a will by really both sides. And I think the off-the-field chatter about Ohio State wanting to postpone because Justin Fields is hurt is a little bit overblown. There are legitimate concerns on the Ohio State side. They haven't told us, but many sources have confirmed that they have a couple of defensive players with COVID issues. And I think ultimately it just depends on what the contact tracing looks like, and we don't know yet. I mean, it would have to be pervasive, but certainly I think everyone in college football wants this game to go off Monday night, because the real danger, I mean, I don't want to go other than the pandemic, but if this game does not get played Monday night, the importance of it really begins to shrink for the obvious reason. The NFL playoffs just suck all the oxygen out of the sports coverage, and I think it would be hard to regenerate that a week from Monday night. It's a challenge for college football anyway, playing on the Monday night following the wild card weekend, especially with an additional game on Saturday and Sunday. But I think it's really up to, I mean, Ohio State would just simply have to say, we don't have enough players. We can't do it. I know the other side, Alabama, wants to get this game in. They're relatively healthy. They have They have Waddle coming back. Would another week matter to them? But they don't care about that. They just want to see the game being played, and I think everyone does.
Paul, Nick Saban's daughter tweeted out some skepticism concerning Ohio State's COVID situation, and it prompted a response from Cardale Jones, right? And I immediately, my mind goes to, what is Nick Saban, of all people, thinking? By the way, she then deletes it. Here it is. If you're not confident to play, then say it. I call BS on the COVID cases. They're just worried about their quarterback and want him to have more time to heal. If he's hurt, put in your backup. You don't see us postpone the rest of the season to wait for Waddle. Bye. And then Cardale Jones responds, sure you want to face another backup from OSU? You know what happened the last time, right? When Cardale Jones did his thing. So immediately I think, of all people, Nick Saban has to deal with this in his own family? What do you think is going on there right now?
I will say Cardale Jones's troll job is the best I've seen since last Sunday when Stephen A. went after the Cowboys for the umpteenth time this year. I really would have liked to have seen Nick Saban's expression. But I will say I've been in Saban's office before when his children have called, and I don't want to state the obvious. He loves his kids, but he's a parent, and I think every parent watching right now has probably been down this road before. Kristen, she would make a great sports commentator because she does not hold back. So maybe if you guys are ever looking for a fill-in on First Take, she would be good. But I'm sure he was nonplussed by the situation to be charitable. But I also think Saban probably shrugged it off. I think he's so laser focused on Monday night, wrapping this season up, keeping all the pieces together, and trying to win his 7th national championship, that he probably did not let it affect him very much.
Paul, Justin Fields had an amazing performance against Clemson. He did take a big hit, though, that did require an injection. So Fields was asked about his injury after the game, and here's what he had to say about that. He said, they didn't really tell me anything. I took like a shot or two in the medical tent and ran back out there. But, I mean, it's pretty much my whole right torso that's messed up and a little bit of my hip. So what do you think about this quote from Fields?
Well, I think the obvious, what he's trying to say is, yeah, I got hurt, but I'm fine. But when you get shot up to stay in a game, that's not. I mean, it's not unheard of. It's fairly commonplace. But it does indicate a bigger problem. And I think as we get closer to Monday night, all eyes are going to be on Justin Fields. What is his health? Because he played not only a great game against Clemson, he played the game of his life. And you have to do that to beat Alabama, not because their defense is so great. It's not. It's by Alabama standards, it's a better than average defense. But their offense is all world. If you watch the Heisman last night, only 3 of the top 5 players in the voting are on that Alabama offense. They had a bad game against Notre Dame and only scored 31 points. I mean, they average 49 points a game, and if they score in the 40s, it really doesn't matter. Justin Fields and Ohio State probably would not be able to keep up. So if he is less than perfect in that game, the Buckeyes are going to be challenged to stay on the same field. And I don't mean that as a blowout, but just score for score. That's what you have to do with Alabama. So I think it's the story of the game. It's hard for me to believe that he will be 100%. I don't think anyone in Buckeye land is really telling us anything because it doesn't serve much purpose to say the guy's banged up, he has bruised ribs, he has whatever, but it's pretty obvious he does.
Yeah. Well, a lot going on in the college football world. Paul, thanks for getting us up to date. We'll see you soon. Good to see you in 2021. All right, First Take continuing. We got a lot more to talk about. LeBron James already crying out about the news breaking about the officer who shot Jacob Blake not facing charges. The guys discuss how this decision will affect athletes moving forward in